One man, 100 guests, 1,000 drinks. Drinking with Jason.
Hey there, weirdos. Welcome back to Drinking with Jason. This is episode number... I have absolutely no idea. I haven't done this in a couple months, so I have absolutely no idea where I left off. But coming back for the second time is the one, the only zombie author, horror author, I don't know, whatever the hell else you are, SP Durnin. What's going on, man?
Oh, not a lot, man. I'd probably put married guy / slave in there somewhere. You know, that's how it feels sometimes. But
so that's what you go by? That's on your business card? Zombie author, horror author, married guy / slave.
Married guy / redhead slave. Yeah.
That's a nice title you've got there. It's respectable.
You know, I like it. It's a little embarrassing sometimes, but then again, I get compensated in sexual favors, so you know, I accept that.
Yeah, that's a pretty fair trade, actually. I won't complain about that either. So what are we drinking tonight? I know you are not one of these guys who puts down only water.
Well, you know, I can't, like the line goes, I can't see myself sitting, talking to people, drinking frickin' rain. So this is what we're having today. And, you know, a little of this might be tossed in there just for good measure after I get a couple and to dilute it. But right now we'll just go for Jameson straight. You know, I'm a mix, so.
Very nice. I put an asinine sum of ice in mine. It's going to be mostly water by the end.
That's all right, man. You can't screw up Jameson's. It's like Guinness. I mean, you can serve that cold, you can serve it warm. It doesn't matter. It's still holy elixir given to us by the gods to save men's souls.
Wow, you put a lot of stock in your Jamesons.
Jameson's, alcohol in general, it helps. Again, I married a redhead. I have to, you know, drink a little bit.
Oh, Jesus Christ. You know, actually doing this show has got me into whiskey a little bit. I never really liked it before, but I'm starting to get a bit of a taste for it, actually.
Yeah, it's not something you can really sit there and, you know, well, I guess you could, but then you'd end up in the ER with, you know, alcohol poisoning. And, you know, you can't just down it like you can the carbonated camel piss they sell at like Myers or wherever. You really got to take it a little bit slower. You know, like this will probably be half hour or so.
Carbonated camel piss. Yummy.
Domestic beer. Yeah.
No, I hear that. I'm more of a microbrew kind of guy, I guess. I like experimenting with all that shit. The only problem is it's so damn expensive to mortgage my house.
Some of them are really pricey. I found the Yingling Dark isn't bad. You know, lager, okay, whatever.
No, I like Yingling, actually.
I really dug. I just had it. What was it? It's called Krabby's. Oh my God. Mix that in a Guinness, man.
Krabby's. I don't think I've heard of that. Where's that out of?
It's like an apple ale. It's like $10 a 4-pack, but oh my God, it's worth it. And it's like if you pour half a Guinness in a glass and then pour the other half crap. I guess it's kind of like a black and tan, maybe doing it that way. But that apple in there, oh, so nice, man.
You know, do you do the whole pumpkin beer thing this time of year?
No, absolutely not. Pumpkin spice is my arch enemy. I hate that. It's like wow, I'm about to really alienate some people here. If you want to like attract like droves of somewhat vapid women, order a pumpkin spice anything. Pumpkin spice brownies, pumpkin spice latte, pumpkin spice beer. It's like no other time of the year you don't even want to see that crap, right? Except for now. It's like, oh, Thanksgiving, Halloween. Oh, let's all eat pumpkin. No, pumpkin is good for one thing. Pie, preferably with that much whipped cream on it and that much pie.
Well, there you have it. Lifetime hater, SP Durnin. Jesus Christ.
Pumpkin spice anything is not my thing. It's like, hey, pumpkin spice wants to be, you know, apple cider or apple pie. You know?
Oh man, you're missing out on some good beers. I had one the other day that's what the hell was it called? Pumpkin. Oh my god, it's so good. But it's like $3.50 a bottle in a 6-pack. So
Ooh.
I don't drink it too much, you know. But anyway, I don't know how the hell we got off onto how we kill our livers, but you were just telling me the second book in your series, the Crowbar Chronicles, it's called, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Crowbar.
Yeah,
It
just
came out.
the keep your crowbar handy series is still going.
Oh, is
Book
it
two.
I thought it was Crowbar Chronicles. Shit.
Yeah, it was. It was shortened just for uh, uh, how to put this. Searching for the word here. Can you tell I'm getting a little older? The Alzheimer's setting in early.
Could be
For
that giant
expediency,
glass of Jameson's you're
I
drinking.
know. Yeah. Just for expediency's sake, for searches, I was just like, you know what? Keep your crowbar handy. Keep your crowbar handy. Book two. Whatever. The Crowbar Chronicles was a fun idea, but just for ease of electronic, digital, World Wide Web searches, shorten it down a little bit. So it's just to keep your crowbar handy series now.
Okay.
But
When did that switch over?
shortly after book one came out, because it was
Okay.
like Jesus, do you really want to call it all this? I was like, well, I guess not. Okay, good
Okay. I thought
point.
maybe I was losing my mind. I was like, I swear to God, it
No,
had a series name that was different. Okay.
no.
So the second one
Yeah,
just came out, and you had sent me that quite a while ago, and you just told me it came out, and I was surprised to hear that.
yeah. I figured I'd just hit you with the 1-2 punch as soon as I gave it to you, man. I'd give you all the bad, like in one shot. Because you get to see a lot earlier than most people, because I just started killing main characters from the get-go. My wife really got pissed when she read book two, and yes, you can reason why at this point.
Yeah, I remember
But
that.
um, with book two, the rotting to the core, it turned not more fun, but a little bit darker, a little bit more brutal. People started killing a lot more, both zombies and people. That's going to continue on into book three.
Which is done and turned into the publisher, right?
Yes, that is already in to go through the editorial birthing process, quote unquote. Book four, I told you before, I'm hip deep in that right now. I'm just over halfway. It's a really odd feeling to know that this is it. These people have been a part of my life for the better part of 3 years. I've been working on this, and it's strange to think, okay, after a few more months, I'm not going to spend time with them anymore. That's pretty much going to be it.
So book
So,
4 is it done, not coming back.
yep, yep, definitive end. I may play around in that universe a little bit more, but I think if I do, it's going to be on a different focus group. I don't even know if it would be during the apocalypse and not just somebody's kids afterwards, to be honest.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah, everybody focuses on the now of the apocalypse, like it's happening now. Well, I've seen a few that come along and start way after, but not a whole bunch. I'm just I'm almost tempted just to explore what happens down the line, because eventually zombies will, well, hopefully rot away, most of them anyway. Would they evolve? Would they change in some way? Would they just fall apart and become fodder for the maggots, and then just leave a pretty barren world for people to repopulate? What would happen? And would the zombie virus start again once you reach a certain population level? You know, I've been really general with what caused the outbreak. I haven't targeted a specific cause. I do know it's not going to be anything mythological. I wanted to stay away from that
So
altogether.
these are not supernatural zombies. These are infected people.
Yes. I don't know. I'm torn between an Amazonian rainforest virus and just something the earth farted up in a methane cloud one day, honestly. I did that because while I am a big fan of The Evil Dead, and I'm very excited to see it coming on at the end of the month. I don't want to go that way because I think they did that perfectly with The Evil Dead, and now Ash versus The Evil Dead, and, Army of Darkness.
Oh
It's
my
just
God.
so fun.
I'm
And I can't
dying
top
for
that.
Ash.
Oh yeah,
The trailers look so good.
and he's so politically incorrect in a couple of them. He's like, "Oh, we could stop for what do you say, tacos or no? It was the dessert things, the dessert sticks." He's like, I'm not Mexican, right? He's like, "There you go." What? Where did that come from?
Doesn't he? In the one trailer, I think he buries some Jews and puts crosses over them. Did you see that one?
Oh my God.
I can't wait. This is such a great character.
Oh, Bruce Sam. Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm dying.
That's all I can say.
So anyway, back to your series. So I have never even signed with the publisher. I actually almost signed with Permuted Press maybe 2 years ago now, but I didn't. So I'm curious, what is your process like? You write the book. Do you turn it into your editor? They give it back. You make some changes. How's it working with them?
Well, when I wrote the first one, there weren't too many changes for the first one, to be honest.
Good.
Well, no, there, the grammatical errors, because I have a comma fetish. Like some people have a blonde, brunette, whatever spots fetish. I have a comma fetish. I put way too many in. So a lot in parts where they don't belong for any reason. So those had to be taken out. Grammatical errors, of course, everybody has those occasionally because, right there. But book 2 was a little bit better. There weren't that many rewrites that I had to do. I mean, there were some in book 1 where I just, not a ton, I think it started about 3 months before the release. I just start getting chapters back, and then I got like a bulk, a bulk email back where it was the last phase to go through. I was pretty happy with it at the end. Book 2 went a lot quicker.
So they didn't make you go back and change chapters or delete whole sections, change characters, anything like that?
No, not a thing, man. Nothing like that anyway. I did add a whole bunch to book 2 just because I felt like when I did it originally, I left a lot of stuff out. I left a whole character out. So I literally had to go back through all my zip drives and find those original bits and work them back in. 3, at least a couple months, because they have got so many on the calendar. It's incredible. I'll probably start getting edits back come the turn of the year, and or work a little bit at a time if needed. It's I don't mind that so much because I'd rather put out something that I myself would want to read as opposed to something quick and easy. Nothing really turns out great when you try and rush through it.
Well, it's interesting that I knew they'd signed a whole ton of people, and when they'd approached me, it was during that rush where they were really trying to fill their catalog. So it's interesting to hear that the first book was only 3 months to release, you said, from when you turned it in. Is that right?
When did I turn that in? I think it might have been about 5 months, actually. I started getting the rewrite, like any type of rewrites, just like paragraphs, not chapters worth of stuff. About 3 months prior, maybe 4 months prior to the release of book 1 and book 2. So it was a pretty speedy process. It wasn't really, didn't feel rushed. It was just like, hey, now it's time to work. I've done the creative thing. Now I have to actually sweat on it.
Right. Gotcha. Now, do you have a release date for book 3 yet?
I believe it's in July sometime of 2016.
And then book 4 will be the following year?
Yep, probably the following year, because no joke, I mean, there are probably, I'd say, well over 150 to 160 permutants in the stable. You know, that's a whole lot of books to push out in a year.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, their work ethic is like Herculean. I mean, no lie. I can't. It's what they do is amazing.
They really made a name for themselves doing apocalyptic fiction, and they were putting out some good stuff. I don't think I've read anything here this year except for your stuff, but they were putting out some good fiction.
That they really did, man. I mean, the guys that paved the way on that. I mean, Thom Brennan, Jailborn, of course, Tony Monchinsky, Z.A. Recht, Rip. You know, here's to him. He passed a while back, but he wrote the Morning Star Strain. It was just exceptional. God, there's so many in there. It would take me an hour to name them all. You know, I've read, and there are, you know, the non-zombie authors like Thomas Wolfenden. I just got to read his second release. That was a few months back. So he did One Man's Island, and then he released One Man's War. And for something without, you know, walking corpses in it, man, they were good. They really were. No lie. One Man's Island, and then he just released One Man's War earlier this year.
I'll have to check those out. Okay, yeah.
Definitely worth the time to read. You know, there are a lot of authors out there that I follow. Devin Segliani, I love his stuff. I think he just released Undead Las Vegas, I want to say. I know he did Undead LA, and he did 3 in the Zombie Attack series. I mean, Brian Parker, Gesundheit. Brian Parker's Ganache, just if it isn't out now, because I got to beta read that before it came out. That's really good. I can't wait to see the continuation of that. I mean,
these are all permuted authors.
Right now. Mm-hmm.
Oh, shit.
All permuted. Brian Parker's active duty military right now. I mean, he was literally over there writing this, you know, writing Ganache. So that
great.
He's pretty badass dude.
Nash, I have to check that out too.
Yeah.
Not that my to be read list isn't a billion freaking books long.
I know. God. I still haven't read the last 2 Game of Thrones novels. I made it through a couple, but not the last 2.
I haven't read any of them, so I refuse until he's working on that last book. You know, I went through this long ass wait bullshit with Stephen King and The Dark Tower, and I'm not playing that game with another series, so it drives me crazy.
Did you hear The Dark Tower is rumored to be going to be made into like a movie series, or at least one movie?
Yeah, I'd heard movie series with like 3 seasons of a TV show mixed in or something like that.
Really?
I don't know if that's still the plan, but that had been, yeah. Which would make sense.
Really
There's so much content. I mean, I don't know how they could get through it.
Yeah, that's the movies would have to be like 7 hours long just to scratch the surface. And see, we got Stephen King on this one too.
Every goddamn episode.
It's just like get a black robe and a skull mask. Oh, Stephen. Oh,
that really is it, man. People must think I just idolize this guy because I do.
Hey, you know, anybody making that much money off stuff they've written?
Oh, he's a total beast. I just finished reading. Well, not just. I think it was over the summer. Was it Finders Keepers? Was his last book? I think. Kind of more thriller. Yeah, and just they're. God damn it, he's a good writer. Drives me crazy.
Now, see, I think one I read. What was it? They're making a movie at. It's got that guy from like the Fed from Con Air, and he was in that movie about the hotel room 1409 or something.
John Cusack.
Yes, the Cell. They're making into a movie about the
Cell.
The Cell.
The zombie cell phone thing.
Yes, I'm interested to see how they do that. Simply because, well, let me do this. Spoilers. The ending to that was like, wow, could you get any more of a downer? But I'm interested to see what they do.
Speaking of the zombie cell phone thing in that, have you seen the movie The Kingsman? Or it might just be called Kingsman.
Yes, I've seen it about 5 times, actually. I think when my wife picked it up, we watched it back to back that night because I was just like, wow, that was really funny. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, I totally loved it. But about 30 minutes in, when they start explaining Samuel L. Jackson's plot, have you read any of my Asher Benson series?
I did get the first one down. The second one is literally right there on the Nook right now.
Okay, so I released
Yeah,
the second one of that several months before this came out. And when I saw the main plot device, I was like, holy shit, it's the exact same. Thank God my novel came out before that movie did. Or half the reviews would have been like, this unoriginal bastard.
Oh, man. That's so weird. It's like, I'm not sure where this, I don't want to say hive mentality, but where this collective idea that it seems like people have these collective ideas at the same moment in time. And maybe we're seeing a modern day version of, why every culture across the globe, even though they supposedly had no contact, has the same mythology. Zombies, Yetis and Sasquatch and Bigfoot. And, these people didn't have any contact. So how could they possibly have the same mythology? I mean, literally almost the exact same mythology minus the names. Maybe we're seeing that evidenced in modern day.
I think it's also a product of, there's only so many ideas, you kind of just put your own spin on certain things, like even, okay, so my book came out a little bit before Kingsman, but was it called The Cell or Cell? I feel like The Cell was that
was that awful
Jennifer Lopez.
J-Lo. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what it was.
I think it was, I think it was Cell, or maybe
I think it might have just been
Cell.
called Cell. That would make sense. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, you just kind of put your own spin on things. We both have zombie novels. We didn't make that shit up.
That's true. George Romero, Hail to the King, did.
That reminds me. You had told me about some Facebook group you were a part of. Is that a public thing people can join for novel recommendations?
Oh, like the All Things Zombie.
Is that what it's called? All Things Zombie?
Yeah, All Things Zombie. They do like giveaways, trivia, memes. They've got like an author post that they keep current. They pin it, and like new releases go up there. I really dug it. I mean, I've had a good time with those guys. I just got to go to the Cincinnati Zombie Walk with one of the 2 primary mods. Actually, he lives about 8 miles outside Cincinnati. And weekend where my wife was doing her thing, I was like, well, I'll just drive down Saturday, camp out, and have some fun. And I go, and there's like 5, 6, 7 other authors there in the genre. I was like, this was totally worth it now. And I think we finally all passed out about 4 o'clock in the morning. We must have picked apart, the government, horror, the universe, the whole thing for like all night. It was great. Like that, where there's really nobody trying to come across as cool, where you're really just flinging ideas at each other and talking about the mental retardation that seems to be our system of government, and just whatever comes to mind. It was just a really cool evening,
and that was all because of this group.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I started posting up some stuff, and I was kind of, I'm not really a pushy, how to put this in a politically correct way. I'm not a pushy promoter. I'm not going to post time and time again about the same book. I might throw a post out there occasionally, but you're not going to see me like blasting, if that's the correct word.
Sure.
It's just a really nice thing because they're everybody's pretty much cracked out for The Walking Dead at this point. They do this live viewing and like an after show discussion, and all the stuff that comes out popularity wise in the zombie culture seems to flow through there at one point or another. A lot of gamers in there. Look at me, I'm a geek. I can play Dead Rising on the Wii forever, man. I literally, the very first one for the Wii, that Dead Rising, where you had to like do the motion control. I played that for like 5 hours straight. I thought somebody put a hot soldering iron into my shoulder right here. It hurt so bad. I was just like, I can't lift my arm. It was great. But yeah, I mean, there's just a whole bunch of people come through there.
Yeah, I'm looking now. I just put my, I don't know what the hell you call it, to join, or somebody has to approve.
Oh, like the request thing.
Yeah, well, yeah, sure, request. And man, a shitload of my friends are in that group. So
right, the two primary mods are like David Claire, or Jeffrey Claire. I'm sorry, and Danielle Pascal. Sorry if I mispronounced your last name, lady. But just really nice people. Got to hang out with Jeffrey and his girlfriend, and God. Matt Smith. No, not the Matt Smith from Doctor Who. Nobody crack out. He's an author here. Does have the British accent, however, and was he's from across the pond. Really nice guy, man. I mean, God. I mean, it was like somebody just threw a lumped ball of creativity in the bonfire that night, and just it blew up.
Very cool. All right. Well, I'm joining up and see what's going on. Yeah, you told me you mentioned the Hunger series, even though it wasn't the zombie series.
Yes, I do. I recommend it a lot, actually. And no, for anyone watching thinking, oh, what an ass kisser. You know what?
You're not an ass kisser. I pay you to say that.
You pay me. When I like a novel, I make no bones about it. I'm going to tell people about it. If somebody asks me, hey, have you read this? Have you read that? No, but I've read this and I really dug it. Whether I know the author or not, I'm going to say so. There have been people that I've read their work. I'll never meet them just because, I don't live in their area of the country, or, I'll never be that cool of a person pretty much to hang out in that circle. I'm not gonna lie. Look at me. I look like a crackhead Harry Potter.
A crackhead Harry Potter.
Yeah.
All right. Never heard that.
Yeah. It's just really nice to read good fiction. I enjoy it. Maybe it's an escape from the humdrum everyday life. I just like it because it feels like living 10,000 lives instead of just one.
Sure.
Like what's her name? My wife introduced me to this lady. It's not a horror-based series. Tanya Huff wrote this series called the Keeper series, I want to say, or maybe I'm wrong, but the first one was called Summon the Keeper. It was just so funny, like this woman was tasked by their organization, who's secretly in charge of the world, whatever, to go around and stop these spatial anomalies from opening up and basically causing Armageddon. And one of the things that they quote unquote reveal in the novel is that all dryers have this function in it, or a design flaw, where they cause these mini spatial anomalies, which is why the socks disappear. You always lose socks.
That's such a great idea.
Yeah, I know, right? I was like, wow, that makes total sense, because you can't turn a sock into total dryer lint like that, I don't think. But
that's hilarious.
Having some stupid little wormhole open up and just suck that one sock in, that makes more sense to me.
That's funny.
It was there. I think 3 of them are out, or I might be wrong. I haven't read the series in a while, so I might be behind. But the first 3 were just so funny, man. What was another one? Originally written for the younger generation, like young adults. This was actually out when I was a teenager, I believe, and I've followed the series since. It's called So You Want to Be a Wizard. Like So You Want to Be an Attorney, or So You Want to Be a Doctor. Well, this girl goes into the library because she's a bookworm, and she finds this book, and it's like, So You Want to Be a Wizard. She's like, nah. Come to find out, yeah, it's, and it's way cool. I probably shouldn't say that. It's not along the lines of Harry Potter. Let's put it that way. It's hard to describe. I enjoyed it. I still enjoy it. I probably got the first 6 or 7 books back there. And then I was like, wow, I'm accumulating way too much. And I had to stop buying pretty much everything.
6 or 7. Holy shit.
Yeah, she's written a lot. I love the Dragonlance series, the about that other planet, like the Pern novels, where they had the dragon riders of Pern. It was
yeah, I read that shit in maybe junior high. There's a ton of them, right?
Yeah, there were 3 for the first series, and then I think 3 for the second one with the white dragon, the runt dragon. And then there was like at least 3 with the Harpers of Pern, like the Master Harper, and about the fire lizards, the little tiny versions of the dragons. Yes, I remember that, man.
Yeah, they had. I remember I had this one that had a killer cover. It was 2 guys riding dragons, charging each other, and they were holding giant lances, like they were on horses, kind of. And it just was like blew my mind when I was young.
Yep. I mean, there's just so much out there. Oh, wow. I haven't thought of that one in forever. It was called No Night Without Stars. I can't remember who the author was, but that one, I really enjoyed that too.
So you like reading multiple genres. Have you considered writing in something other than horror?
You know what? After I get my LPN and maybe I'll toy around with this little zombie universe a little bit more. But I'm thinking I've got a couple that I'd be willing to try, just fantasy and sci-fi based. One's kind of time travel-ish, but just, again, one way, not, back and forth Doctor Who thing. Because I don't think I could handle all those paradoxes and keep them straight in my head, let alone on paper. That might actually bring the Earth to an end, me trying to do that. But yeah, I think it'd be fun to do a sci-fi series at one point, even a deep space opera. That'd be really fun to do. Just invent whole races of alien people, and the worlds, the cultures. That'd be great.
That's tough stuff, man. But if you can do it, that's insane. I mean, you were just talking about Game of Thrones. I mean, that's what he did, and people are going apeshit over that.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, you know what? I only think about this because, 1, I'm a rabid fan, and 2, people were talking about this online for the last month. People were trying to get, since the series was canceled way too early, thanks a lot, Fox, and the movie did so well, and, well, there's a big cry for it. A second series. Sorry, that was the dryer. Space
Taking a sock.
Yeah, it's Firefly. They're trying really hard to get a second season done of Firefly that they made that movie Serenity off of, with the original cast, which would be great.
That's been a long time.
Yeah, it has, but I can see them pulling them off, or see them pulling it off, just because who says it has to pick up right where series 1 ended? It can be 10 years down the line. I'm cool with that. They did a really great job with the series and the movie. I think the fan base is still there. I mean, hell, they did it with Farscape. So,
Isn't he doing some other TV show, Castle or something like that? Is that still on?
Mm-hmm. My wife and I actually watched like the first 5 seasons of that. And again, spoilers, right up until him and the female cop got married, which took a while. I think they were kind of doing that like moonlighting used to be. Once they got married, they really had to try. So I heard a rumor like they'd split up on the show or something. I'm like, wow, really? You couldn't.
Haven't seen any of it.
It did not suck. I enjoyed it.
It's one of those, my TV viewing list is much like my to be read list. I'm never going to get through the damn thing, but I'm trying.
Yeah. Well, see, what needs to happen is one of us will win the lottery. We find the other one. We just disappear, right? We buy the wives their Victorian home. We put the Bat Cave underneath it, and we do nothing but fill it with books and games and movies. And that's what we do.
Yeah, my problem is I just
Broadcast from
take
a
on too
secure
many
location.
projects I like. You know, like I like writing. I do this show. I don't make any money from this show. I just do it to drink with assholes like you. And you know, now I'm doing the YouTube show. I'm not ever going to make money from that. It's just I like doing all this shit, and it's like it stretches me so thin. I can't get to a lot of stuff I want to.
Well, you don't know that, man. I mean, look at PewDiePie. I've never seen a single one of that guy's shows. My daughter loves him, but you know that dude just made what $13 million or something. He's a YouTuber.
Yeah, YouTube. It's a whole nother thing, you know. But I'm doing a YouTube show about bad movies, so it's the floor is not as high. I guess I should say the ceiling, not the floor. Jesus, drink.
4 words: Mystery Science Theater 3000. All right.
I wonder how much any of those guys ever made, though.
I don't know. I'm sure the creator of that, they got paid a pretty penny for that. I'm sure. Maybe not the actors, but
for those who don't know what we're talking about, I'm only 2 episodes in, but I'm doing a YouTube show called So Bad It's Good, where a buddy of mine and I watch just the worst movies you've ever seen, and then just I don't want to say shit on them because we're not really shitting on them. I love watching terrible B movies. It's kind of an appreciation for them. With a little shitting on them at the same time. But if you go to YouTube and just search for Jason Brant, my channel will pop up and you'll see all this stuff in there. I've got another one coming out in about a week for Troll 2, which is a mind-numbingly bad movie. I take it you've seen that one?
Oh, God, yes, man. The B movies of the 80s. Wow. Oh, what's another one that just was so bad you would have to watch it if it was Critters 2?
You know, I've seen Critters 1, which was, you know, half comedy on purpose. It wasn't a good movie, but it was a funny, you know. So Critters 2 is just crap. It's
full on cheesecake. And when I say cheesecake, I mean alien bounty hunters with a chest out to here. And yeah, let's just leave it that way. The ball o critters, they all form into a ball and start rolling over people, and like they're instantly eaten, you know, like the Blob, except this big ball o critters, like the mega critter ball. And
all right, Critters 2, I will add that to the list. I've already got about 50 movies on there, including the one you just told me about with Rowdy Roddy.
Hell Comes to Frogtown. If you guys want something that will totally just make you say, what did I just do with the last 2 hours of my life? That is it. Post-apocalyptic Rowdy Roddy Piper tasked to help restart the human race because he's one of the last fertile males with the blonde from Conan, the original Conan.
Sandal Bergman or something like that?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
And she belly dances.
Really?
Yes. What's it called? The dance. The big king lizard is like, do the dance of the 3 snakes, and she's like got all these veils and is twirling around and belly dancing. He's like, you have pleased the 3 snakes, and you know there they are, like, you know. So yeah, it's really bad, man. But it's like,
so it's hilarious.
Oh yeah. I mean, you will just die laughing the whole time. The acting is such cheese.
All right, I'm gonna have to check this out. There's a really fine line. There's a really fine line between funny bad and boring as shit. I want to kill myself bad. So I'm not looking for movies that are just going to bore the shit out of me. Like, what did I see? Manos, Hands of Fate, which is a lot of people consider one of the worst movies ever made. And it is, but it's like boring bad, not funny, not Troll 2 funny bad. So
nice. Oh God, what's another one? There was one with a gymnast, and that was a Fury as a spoof on that movie. It was, oh Lord, Jim Cotta.
Jim Cotta is, I think, 3rd on our list. So it'll be coming out
Oh,
around Christmas.
oh man, ignore the acting and just look for the old lady going "Meow, meow," in the town full of crazies. They'll be like, "That sick bastard remembered that."
All right, I'll keep an eye out for it. I've actually never seen that movie. I've just seen a couple clips, and I could tell right away this is going to be right in my wheelhouse. So,
Oh yeah, you'll enjoy that one, man. Believe me.
well, the one we just watched was the same thing. I'd just seen a couple clips, and I just knew it was called Hard Ticket to Hawaii. Um, holy shit, that was great.
I remember that. I'd have to say that was on par with what was that dude's name in Shogun when he was trying to have the pseudo Indiana Jones movies, King Solomon's Mines. Sharon Stone was in one. I can't remember his name. But
King
yeah,
Solomon's Mines was the name of it.
Oh yeah. The guy's name was playing Alan Quartermain. Oh man. I think if Sean Connery,
Sharon Stone.
yeah, the only good things I can remember about that movie was like the wet shirt t-shirt Sharon Stone look and the dress shirt. So that about sums that up.
All right, I'll have to check that out too. Yeah, we've got so many movies we have to get to. I don't know how we're going to do it. We're watching one on Friday, at least one. We're probably going to do Carnosaur, which is it's a special one. I haven't seen it since high school, so I only remember a little bit. So I'm looking forward to it.
Newcomb High.
Oh, Newcomb High. Yeah. I don't have that on the list. I'll have to add that.
The Toxic Avenger.
Toxic Avenger. See, that's one of those ones that they were trying to make it funny, so it kind of walks the line of how much of this ridiculousness was intentional and how much was because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. Mm-hmm. And I don't want to do movies like Sharknado.
Oh,
they're clearly just trying to make a bad movie,
Okay, let me put this out there. Sharknado 3. Right here in Columbus, the requisite morning show people, a couple of them made it into that as extras.
No shit.
Oh, yep. What's his name? Jimmy Jam and I can't remember the lady's name. A lady named I can't remember her name now.
It's a riveting story.
Alcohol. But no,
there were a shitload of cameos in 3, weren't there? I didn't see it.
The only reason I knew about it is because I even knew the movie existed was because I actually listened to the Morning Live to care for the Alzheimer's and special needs patients. But it was those are yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they're fun movies because they are ridiculous, but they're doing it intentionally. When you see something like Troll 2, that dude legitimately thought he was making a really good horror movie. So,
yep, it's kind of like House 2.
Oh, I've never seen House 2. I really like House 1.
With the crystal skulls.
In House 2?
Yeah, there was a crystal skull. Wow, just like a certain Indiana Jones movie, except it was a human skull. And
House 1 is the one with George Wendt, right?
Yes, the greatest American hero.
Yeah. Okay. I have not seen the second one. It's terrible.
It's pretty bad. Dog that's half dog, half caterpillar. That's like from the Paleozoic age. And it's like this big. Literally like a cat. And it looks like a really long smushed pug.
No, okay. I'm gonna have to find House 2.
Oh yeah, it was. Oh, God.
It's not even coming up on IMDb. What the hell? It's got to be on here somewhere.
I think the whole movie poster for it was just a cut off hand doing this.
Doing what?
This.
Oh, okay.
Like an undead.
Wasn't the first one a severed hand pressing a doorbell? I think.
Yep, sure was. it
I
was just
remember all
kind of
these
floating
covers
there.
because, you know, in the videotape era, that's how you picked movies. Like what
Mhm.
had the coolest cover, you know, in the video store, and you just hope you didn't get fucked.
Oh, I got one for you. Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town.
Chopper Chicks in Zombie Town.
Uh-huh. That is a real movie, dude. And so much worse than Zombie Strippers.
Wow. Okay, I got it here. Oh, Jesus. Man, you're kind of a B movie aficionado yourself.
I am a dork. Look at me. I remember getting one of the first, and I threw it away. Damn it! The first black and white with the only color cover in the whole damn book. The first Ninja Turtle comics. You know, secondhand in a used comic store. I remember those things. I remember the dorky, geeky, bust the norm kind of non-Titanic movies, because I'm sorry, the only thing good about Titanic is being able to make a meme of Deadpool laying on a bear rug going, paint me like one of your French girls. You know?
Oh, I haven't seen that one. I mean, look, I hate romance movies as much as the next guy, but he did a hell of a job recreating the Titanic, and he's James Cameron's a beast. Even when he makes movies I'm not interested in, he that's why it takes him like 10 years to do a goddamn movie. He's a
Yes.
maniac.
And I'm sorry, Jack, you could have fit on that little piece of debris. You'd be alive. Wait, you wouldn't be alive. You'd be dead with her because you were really old. But,
man, I haven't seen that movie since high school.
oh, I don't want
long
to,
time.
man. I can't bear it. I can't bear it. It's like needles in my eyeballs. You know, the angst.
You know,
But visually, it's good.
You mentioning that, I completely forgot, but I was dating a girl. I don't even know how old I was and then we went and saw it. And the next day, going down the hall in high school, and her friends are like smiling at me and like laughing a little bit. I'm like, what the hell is that? You know, like they kind of basically just ignored me. Otherwise, I think they saw me as the guy like they dealt with because their friend was dating me. And then one of them told me that my girlfriend had told them I had cried the whole way through Titanic, and that I was this really sensitive guy, or like some weird shit. I'm like, what? I didn't cry during Titanic. I was laughing at the end because, like, when the guy hits a propeller and shit, like that was hilarious. So there's this whole group of people who think I cry at romance movies. Apparently, they should read one of my books.
Yeah, I know, right? That's, you know what? That's a real romance. Screw you guys that like, you know, Titanic, and I won't reference any zombie movies. God, it's so hard not to say it. Warm bodies.
Oh, I was not getting that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Zombies are not cured by hugs.
Not in your world.
Of that awful. No, not at all. You know, they're dead. Their hearts don't beat. They don't feel.
What's a real romance?
Real romances are like another $20 in the check. The Hunger, or the real romance. Yes, that's a romance, dude. I mean, come on. You know, seriously. Twilight, I'm sorry. You know what? Lots of people like it. Go read it. But hey, that's like a train wreck of two relationships.
Twilight's on So Bad It's Good's list.
People, you know, think Romeo and Juliet is a romance. No, it's not. It's a 3-day relationship about a 17-year-old and a 13-year-old that caused the deaths of 6 people. Have you read the book? Anybody? You know, it's not a romance.
Are you an opinionated fellow? I can't tell.
I really am, man. I think, I mean, is it great literature? Absolutely. Everyone should read it at least once. But it's not a romance. It's mental instability. Kind of like the King Lear. A romance is like let me think here. Well, I hate to say it, but like moonlighting. You know, that was what, 6-7 years of them just absolutely verbally and physically beating each other up. And it's finally like, wow, I
Oh,
really
okay.
do
I'm
love you.
seeing what you like. I was like, Lance and Cass is a great romance, huh? It's like they get it on every now and then. She shits on him, he shits on her. That's your kind of relationship, huh?
Dude, their byplay, their interaction. I mean, they don't want to let on that they think the other is that cool, really, but they kind of do. You know,
Is
I
this
think
how your
Lance,
relationship with your wife is?
pretty much. You know, I knew literally from our first date. And I've told you this before. Literally, our first date was on St. Patrick's Day in an Irish pub, and I was in a kilt. Well, in Columbus, Ohio, you don't do that alone unless you have a chest this big and your neck's like this, and you have no junk because you're pumping all the steroids. But we went out, and I took a couple with me who were my friends, and she brought her best friend with us. And if you're wearing a kilt and you're in a bar on St. Patrick's Day, in anywhere pretty much, after a few of these, women of a certain age do not take none of your business to the question of what's under your kilt. They want to know, even if you look like me. She finally got so sick of it. I was using her as a human shield between a couple people, and I'm a pretty fugly looking guy. I have no illusions. But I was literally like putting her bodily between me and these two women, and she got so sick of this one blonde, she drops into a fighting stance, and she says, "If you don't leave my date alone, I'm gonna deck you." And I was like, "She's the one. I'm gonna marry her right there." And I have witnesses to it too.
You wore a kilt on your first date
Mm-hmm.
in Ohio.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. And you married this woman.
Yes, it was St. Patrick's Day. I'm a raging Mick. You know, I love Guinness. I love Jamesons. I love broadswords. I love bagpipe music. I'll admit it. I enjoyed the music from Riverdance. Lost all my street credit right there. You know, wasn't really too keen on the dancing. You know, but I enjoyed the music for what it was. It was just great music, but dancing not so much. You know, it's like clogging in better clothes to me.
You're a crazy son of a bitch.
I know. I know.
Before I let you go here, I've had an interesting mix of different authors on here, and I always like to find out how. God damn. All right.
Sorry. Yeah,
that's okay. Oh, so you smoke an e-cigarette and regular cigarettes?
Well, I'm trying to get away from the regular cigarettes. So like I have a couple, and then it's like the guilt sets in because I run, I do parkour, and it's like, wow, I shouldn't be smoking those at all. So, you know, let's put it this way. Empty pack. So
How
cig it is.
How do you like those? Are they helping you?
They're not bad. I wish I could find one that tasted like a cigarette. You know, they've got all these different, like 1,002 flavors, like everything from almond to, and I swear this was an actual flavor on the wall of 1,002 flavors. Unicorn farts on fire. It exists.
Wow.
Yeah, I just went with, you know, pretty much, I don't even know what this is called, like smoky or sweet tobacco or whatever. Yeah.
And you're trying to find one that tastes like a dirty asshole.
Mm-hmm. A dirty ashtray. It's taste.
Yeah, I've known a couple of people who were pretty hardcore smokers. I think about half of them actually kicked the habit, but the other half had moved pretty much exclusively to using those. So that seems like one of the better ways to quit, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, there are step downs to it. So like you get less and less nicotine. And I'm trying to work my way down. I haven't got off this one yet. I've had it like 2 months. I think it's more like that habit. You know, you're always doing something with your hand.
Sure.
You know, that and the taste, because after a meal, real cigarette just tastes like chocolate to me. It's awesome. But you know, I think at this point, you know, I want to start doing more than 5 kilometers every other day. So this.
Gotcha. All right, well, anyway, what I was asking was, how do you have a full-time job? So
Yep.
how do you get your writing in otherwise? Like I've had a couple people on here who are full-time authors, a couple people who have jobs, and it's funny. They seem to kind of put out about the same amount of books, whether they're full-time or not. When do you get your writing time in?
Honestly, I try to do at least an hour every day. I write a lot on the weekends though. Like when I get off on Friday, I'm right on the laptop and I start and I go till about, well, figure I get home about 4 at the latest if I hit the bank on Friday.
Put your kilt on.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go run or train for a little bit, shower, and I'm done by like 5:30. And I just start and I go till like midnight. Saturday, I get up and I'll write for a few hours. I'll go do my thing. 2 or 3 o'clock, I get back on. And I just go until it's time to go to bed. It's weird because it doesn't really feel like a lot of time to me when I'm writing. I've actually sat right here, for like 9-hour stretch, and I'm like, oh wow, I really have to take a leak, and like I can't move my legs because they've gone numb. I've forgotten to eat. I've admitted this. I don't know where it comes from. I don't claim to know. I don't have any certain insight for people who want to become authors or writers. It's really more along the lines of write what you like to read. If you're going to enjoy it, you're going to put your heart into it. If you're just cranking it out to, I'll write something about, I don't know, because Cthulhu is really big now. I'll write something about witches because witches are really big right now. Or people can do that. Me personally, I can write what I myself would want to experience. Be that zombies, be that some kind of time travel series. Sorry, Doctor Who fanatic right here. Thanks to my daughter. Be that science fiction, Star Wars, Serenity, Firefly. What's another one that was just really, really good? Aliens, even though that was a horror-based series, that was really good. I enjoyed that. I don't know if they could do another one of those. Yeah. I don't know if they could do another one and pull it off after the last one, but maybe with a reboot. I am interested in the new Prometheus, though.
That's such a polarizing movie, and I really liked it. I mean, there were a couple parts where I was like, just run to the side when that giant ship was going to fall on her and she was running. And, there's a couple parts like that irked me, but I thought it was really interesting. And people hate that movie. I don't know.
Yeah, on that note, it was Charisse, so you never want to see that go down. But it kind of filled in blanks. I don't know if I liked the whole, hey, my baby's gonna kill you, here it goes, and creates the first alien. But I mean, it's just as plausible as anything else. I finally got to see the Predators with Adrian Brody.
Mm-hmm. It's basically an homage to Predator 1.
Really like that. I like the idea, like they made a game reserve as opposed to coming here. That's nice. That's plausible. I like that.
Yeah, I like Predators. It really was. They just it was like they were taking greatest hits from Predator and then just remade it 20 years later.
Yeah. The only thing I guess it worked well for the story, but what I just cringed for the character is the poor chick that survived the very first Predator movie with Arnold gets picked up and put on that planet after going through all that, and she wasn't even fighting the damn Predator.
Oh, I don't. It's been a long time since I've seen that.
She was the lady that survived with Adrian Brody.
That was her? Okay.
She was the girl that Arnold saved in the first one.
Speaking of that, I just heard Shane Black is doing a new Predator movie.
Really?
Yeah. And at first they said it was a remake and people flipped out. But then I heard it's not a remake. It's maybe sequel or something. I don't know, but if Shane Black's in it or interested in writing it or directing it or whatever the hell he's doing, it could be interesting.
If it's not a reboot or if it's like an original, an original movie, not like a retelling of the story just in a different time, I'd be totally into seeing that. I don't know
I
about
don't want to see a remake. That movie is one of my favorite movies, so I'm not really interested in seeing a remake. Kind of like this new Ghostbusters movie. It bums me out so hard that I can't see Bill Murray as a Ghostbuster. But I will give it one piece of credit, having not seen it. I don't want to shit on it without seeing it, but it's not a remake, thank God, because I would never see it. I would never watch a remake of that movie. It's impossible. So, yeah.
I don't know. I could be totally wrong about this, and if I am, I'll admit it publicly. I don't intention of seeing the new Ghostbusters movie. I'll probably see it anyway, but if it be like The View versus Ghosts, I'm gonna be really pissed.
Yeah, like some of the women in that are hilarious. That's not my issue. My issue is not women or men or any of that. It's Bill Murray. I think Bill Murray is like one of the funniest dudes ever, and him not being in a Ghostbusters movie just feels so wrong to me.
Well, yeah, the only person that was in the original who's dead was Harold Ramis. Harold Ramis.
Yeah, he died
He gone
2 years ago or something.
Yeah, Bill Murray's still around.
I think Bill Murray's going to have a cameo in it, but that's not the same thing. So.
Yeah, it won't be a zombie land part. Darn it.
Hey man, we're hitting an hour here, so give me your info. Do you have a Twitter or a website yet or anything?
I still have the same blog. I'm very behind on, so I won't bother.
Did I just say, Facebook. Do you have a Twitter? Like
yes.
That was 80?
Yes.
Do you have a Twitter account?
Just look for SP Durnin on Twitter. You can find me on Facebook. Facebook kind of did their whole no privacy for you thing. So I'm Sean P. Durnin on Facebook. I tried to keep that a little bit private because I have family, but if you're a stalker out there, rock on, whatever. Just find me. I'll talk about it. If you're a fan of horror, sci-fi, fantasy, fiction in general, there's a conversation for us to be had. You can find my books on Amazon, at Barnes & Noble. I mean, God, what's the other ones? There's probably a dozen different sites that are carrying them now.
I'm sure you're on ebook everywhere, right? iTunes.
Pretty much. I did want to give one shout out to an anthology.
Good talking to you, man. Catch you later.
Nice.
Go ahead.
Simply because it benefits the Fallen Heroes Fund. None of the authors that have submitted to this get a dime. We didn't want it. The publisher isn't taking a dime. It's called At Hell's Gates 3, Bound by Blood. All of it goes to the Fallen Heroes Funds to benefit the wounded and the killed members of the military. There are a crap ton of authors in there that I follow myself. I just was lucky enough to make it in with something I never even thought would work. If you got time, I know anthology is bane of readers' existence, but it really is cool. I've read probably 2/3 of it now, and I can't wait to get back to it, but I've promised people blurbs, so I have to do those first before I can actually read for pleasure.
At Hell's Gate 3, Bound by Blood. I see it on Amazon here. Looks like there's a good 27 authors or so.
It is a phone book, man. There's like 500 pages. You're getting a lot.
And it's only $3. Holy shit.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Is there a central gist to this? I'm guessing it has something to do with hell.
Well, basically, it's dealing with the apocalypse, monsters, supernatural, sci-fi, deep space fiction. The key is it has to be a parent and an offspring. So that's basically the center of every single story.
So this runs the whole gamut of horror.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. All right, people, check out At Hell's Gate 3 and the Keep Your Crowbar Handy series, right? Not the Crowbar Chronicles.
Yes, keep your crowbar. Hopefully the third one, fingers crossed, assuming room temperature, will be out early this year sometime.
Hell yeah, man. Check them out. You like zombie stuff? You like crazy action? That's a series. All right, buddy. Thanks for coming on.
No problem. Buy the Hunger series.
Please, God. See you, man.
Later.